With respect to the question we are addressing today, how do we provide children with the powerful teaching they will need to be ready for a quality post-secondary college experience and opportunity? We at Ford have concluded that recruiting a few thousand heroes simply isn't enough. We need schools that make good teachers great and great teachers deeply satisfied. To achieve this, we need a greater focus on the system and organizational changes that build the collective power of teachers.
At the Coates and Family Foundation, we believe not just in teacher effectiveness, but in teaching excellence. And every day we work with teachers to help them develop the knowledge, expertise, and supports necessary to achieve it. We believe the development of teaching excellence is possible in all schools. One thing we've learned from working with teachers is that excellent teachers need to be surrounded by thoughtful, skilled, and collegial colleagues who care deeply about teaching and learning and about the children they teach.
We have in California a system called the Peer Assistance Review, PAR program, that many of you may be familiar with, that has been used very effectively in many districts throughout California, that has a very specific criteria for moving teachers along a path towards improvement. One thing that we really need to think about in these conversations is not about finding those two teachers and firing them, and that gets all the thing, but it's talking about how we make the profession better and how we improve and how we really invest in meaningful tools and professional development to prove our entire system.
Just a bit about the surveys and the findings. Some major findings from our survey, as written by the Center for Teaching Quality, Dr. Barnett Berry, who you will hear from a little bit later, include, for example, the critical importance of this kind of networking in order to support teachers, keep them in the classroom, and maximize student achievement. And in the survey, just some highlights. Over 90% of the teachers reported that their network participation improved their teaching practice. Hello. Over three-quarters feel that it has improved their school overall, the school they're in. These networks are outside of the school, but of course we are also talking about collaboration in the school. Our survey was outside the school. 94% stated that their knowledge and skills increased, and almost 80% of the respondents claimed that their network involvement directly fueled their intention to stay in teaching.
It is quite an honor to be with you, to be part of this conversation, to help us, help policymakers in particular begin to reframe the way they are not just thinking about effective teachers, but also taking actions. This is a very stunning data point. 91% of America's teachers say their success in their individual classroom is due to their colleagues.
So we're wondering, why must teachers bear all the brunt and all the focus?
It's right at the heart of what I was talking about in terms of the system, and people have asked me since hearing this idea, what practically are you suggesting we do? And part of what we need to do is be clear about what administrators, not just at the local level, but at district offices, should be expected to do in terms of support, providing tools to I'll give you an example. Most administrators in the nation's schools, but certainly in LA, don't do quality evaluations of teachers. They also aren't given training to do it, and they aren't given the time to do it. That comes from the district office. And if we don't create standards and expectations for administrators at that level, then we look and say, well, the principals aren't doing their job. But it's just, you see, that's a classic example of a system design problem where you keep pointing fingers, you point to the principal and say, why aren't you doing evaluations? You know you've got bad. Well, no one, it's really not my strength. I do other things well. I don't have the time. No one has given me the tools to do good evaluations. That responsibility may rest at the district level. Rick was telling me the other day that one of the things the State Department is planning to do is to develop a set of tools for districts to use around evaluation, which this state has never had. So that's a great thing that the State Department is stepping up and saying to districts, we'll provide the tools. So again, what's good news to me is to see that more people are stepping up, or at least people like Rick are encouraging people to step up and say, it's a system problem. It isn't just a teacher problem.